Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here to talk about some news we got for The Walking Dead Season 10 regarding both Michonne and Maggie. It's mainly a lot of Michonne news because Angela King had an interview with TV Line talking about Michonne and Season 10 in general, and then she also added something at the end about Maggie. So two main characters who have some big stuff coming up. You know, Maggie already has left and we're just waiting for her return because they have teased that multiple times. And then Michonne, she's getting ready to leave. So we're going to discuss what she said with TV Line. But before I do begin, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe because now that it's September, it looks like we're getting a lot of Walking Dead information every single day. So we'll be making videos on this channel as usual. So be sure to subscribe. But with that being said, let's get started. So TV Line also shared an image of The Walking Dead Season 10. Here it is. This is a TV Line exclusive, and this is an interesting photo. We have the group here in the woods. They're looking at something. I'm going to talk about this in just a minute, but the group is in the woods, and a lot of the images, the promo images in the trailer, there are a lot of footage, or a lot of moments, I should say, of the group in the woods. Now, I'm not sure what exactly is going on. If I would have to guess on it, I would say like there's going to be like a battle in the woods. But that being said, you know, there's also those moments in the trailer where there's fire. Like here we have this image that came out a while back for a reveal, like a Thursday reveal. And this image has stood out to me because they're kind of pointing their weapons up, which is super odd. And I'm just curious to see what's going on here. Like, are the Whispers setting up a trap? Are the Whispers, like, you know, unleashing a horde of walkers? That could tie into the beach, because in the beach, it looks like they're fighting some walkers. That, you know, that could be related, or that could be its own separate thing, just throwing out ideas out there. But I do think there's gonna be a big battle going on in the woods this season. And then when it comes to this image, we have this corpse here. At least I'm assuming it's a corpse, and they're looking at it, and I can't really tell, like, you know, what exactly is going on in this image. But them obviously releasing it means that there's some sort of significance here. And I think the significance is gonna lie with the, you know, the body. Who is that person? Is it gonna be somebody like old who's died in the past, or is it gonna be somebody that, you know, maybe ventured out on their own and the Whispers ended up killing them, and this is the group finding the body? And then the big question, like, who could it be? Is it like a major character, or is it a minor character? It's impossible to tell who it is from this image. But this potentially could be how the Whisper War starts. If you've been watching some of my other videos, you know I've been saying that my theory on how the Whisper War is gonna start is that somebody's gonna accidentally cross into the border, like maybe from the opposite side or something, and they don't really notice it. And then one of the Whispers are gonna run into them, possibly Alpha, and just kill them, and that's gonna piss off a lot of people back home, and some of them are gonna want to go to war. And this potentially could be that person. You know, where they are right now in this image, that could be like the Whisper border, like in their territory. And they come and they find this person that, you know, they're familiar with, a friend that have died. So you guys let me know, how do you think it's gonna play out? Who do you think this is? Under what circumstances do you think, you know, this person is dead here? Like, what do you think is going on? Let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what Angela Kang said about Season 10, The Whisper War, and Michonne's Exit. So, the report from TV Line reads, as Season 10 hurls our protagonists into a turf war with the Whispers, showrunner Angela Kang's advice to fans is, brace yourself, the conflict is intense. It's also as different from the Savior's War as Negan is from Alpha. Someone like her doesn't have a traditional sort of battle strategy, so there are things that happen on both sides that are surprising and strange. There are elements of paranoia and a Cold War feeling. In the eye of the storm will be Carol and Daryl. There's an emotional core between the two of them, suggests Kang. That helps us understand the human toll of the story. Along the way, the show will lose Denai Guerrera, who has played Michonne since Season 3. In the heroine's final act, there are some things of major importance that we will learn, which have massive consequences, but we'll also get to showcase good old-fashioned Michonne being a badass. Alright, so a lot to unravel there. I really like what she said. So first thing I want to talk about is how she mentioned that it's going to be different than All Out War. Because that's something I've been curious about, because All Out War, well, one thing in particular I've been curious about is to see if it's going to be as long as All Out War. My answer is no. Let me know if you think the Whisper War is gonna last the entirety of season 10, just like All Out War lasted pretty much the entirety. Not pretty much. It did last the entirety of season 8, and that's why I've kind of been thinking like it won't, because All Out War is only 2 seasons ago. And I'm glad they brought that up, because it's like they didn't talk about the time or anything, but I am glad they brought up that it's gonna be different, because I know The Walking Dead sometimes gets accused of being too much, like too repetitive. So I am, hopefully, it stands true to what she said, that it is gonna be different. I have trust in Angela Kang. She has done a phenomenal job with season 9, so I am excited for season 10. Next is the eye of the storm will be Carol and Daryl, and I like how she brought that up, because there something is up with those two in the trailer. Like, we know they're definitely upset about this war. Like, in the trailer, we saw Daryl and Carol talking about possibly leaving, and Daryl saying that it looks like we're going from one battle to another. And again, I like that self-aware aspect of it, because, like I was mentioning before, The Walking Dead does get accused of being repetitive too much. So it looks like they're definitely self-aware of that, and they're gonna probably, and most likely, they will change it, because they don't want to get blamed for that. So those two leaving in the season 10 trailer, we had them on the bike leaving. I don't think they're gonna leave like 100%. I think they might have this crisis where they leave for a little bit. But I don't see those two abandoning, the Whisper War, especially Carol, because she's the one who wants to take down Alpha. So we'll see. I know the season 10 trailer, like the episodes were shot out of order, so some of the stuff in the trailer is not going to be until like the second half. So I don't know the order of things. Like, is she going to want to fight Alpha and then leave, or leave and then fight Alpha? But I don't think they're gonna totally abandon the Whisper War. But yeah, like Angela said here, there's an emotional core between the two of them, and that helps us understand the human toll of the story. I like that, because I do agree with Daryl in that trailer. Like, they go from war to war to war to battle, and and it comes time to just being like too much. So I liked how they added that element to the show. And then lastly, the Michonne stuff. So I like the stuff that she said about Michonne, that there's gonna be some important stuff that we're gonna learn, which is gonna have some massive consequences. What do you guys think that's gonna be? For me, I'm saying Rick. I'm sticking to Rick, and that's how her exit is gonna go. Because why would you bring up important stuff that we're gonna learn that'll have massive consequences when talking about Michonne's exit? If I like, that's not like, I know they can't spoil it. Like, even if Michonne somehow ends up dying, which I would be shocked if that's the way she leaves. I don't know, just the way what she said here, that it's gonna be something very important that's gonna have consequences. I think it's gonna be the Rick stuff, because that's gonna change everything. If people find out that Rick is alive, that's gonna connect them, or have the possibility of connecting everything, connecting to Fear the Walking Dead, because Fear has had some connections to the CRM, little connections, but they've had connections, and then also connecting them to the CRM in general, which is gonna be this big community, which we're gonna learn more about in the Rick movies. But that's what I got out of that. You guys let me know, how do you think Michonne's exit is gonna play out? And then obviously the end thing, old-fashioned Michonne being a badass. That's gonna be pretty cool. So it does look like she's gonna be there for the Whisper War, and help out. And then her exit's gonna be, after the Whisper War. And the thing I was talking about earlier of how The Walking Dead season 10 filmed out of order, that definitely ties in with this, because they've never really filmed out of order. Not to my knowledge, they haven't. I mean, they could, but I think the reason, and they've never really announced it before and talked about it like this season. And I think a part of that is because of Michonne leaving. And I think if Denai Guerrero can only film a number of episodes, or she's gonna be busy and she can't film the second half, or like when they film the second half usually, I think that's why they did it out of order, so she could be in the majority of season 10. But I hope she's gonna be in like the majority, like in number of episodes. I think it'll be a little odd if she's gonna be like episode 1, 2, and then 8, and then 12, and then 16, or something like that. I hope it's not like that. I mean, again, The Walking Dead is big. They've done that before in the past, where characters are only in a number of episodes per season. Just because everybody is so far away. But due to the fact that it is a war, I don't see that happening. So I think she's gonna be in a lot of season 10. And then after the Whisper War, she's gonna find out about Rick being alive, and that's gonna set up her exit. And then when it comes to Maggie, TV Line also asked about Maggie because they brought up Dante and how he's gonna be in this season. In the comics, Maggie and Dante, they have a thing together. And this Angela King, it was a quick answer. She said, "We're trying to work on it. We've got ideas for Maggie, so hopefully it will happen." So based on what she said there, and again, there's probably a lot of stuff they aren't telling people because they're not allowed to tell, or it's in the works. And also, I don't think them filming The Walking Dead, it's kind of hard to hide everything. And I know fans, they kind of spot filming, and I don't think there's been any word on Maggie returning. I mean, they have hit cast in the past before, so it is possible. But I don't think Maggie is gonna return just yet. Right now I think they're filming up. It's definitely getting closer to the end because they have 2 more months of filming, so it's definitely the second half, probably like episode 12 or 13 or something like that. But that being said, the Whisper War could still be going on, and I don't see Maggie returning in the middle of the Whisper War. But her return could happen in the finale, or towards the end, which could set up season 10 in the Commonwealth. That would be my guess. That Maggie will return after the Whisper War, or maybe like at the end of the Whisper War and help out during the final battle. But definitely like towards the end of season 9, I think. If Maggie will return in season 9, if that's gonna happen, I would say towards the end. You guys let me know in the comments down below, when do you think, or how do you think Maggie will return? But that is it for this video. I quickly wanted to talk about this information, this interview with TV Line, a lot of cool stuff there. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about all this? Who do you think that body is in the first image? And, how do you think Michonne's going to leave? How do you think Maggie will return? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, I am going to wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead videos just like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.